I've read through your website a few times,
Oh,
right?
your website.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
cool website.
Thank you.
And yesterday, I clicked your CV and I
Oh,
opened it. I was like, wow,
yeah, no.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've not realized how much work I've done in the past, but
Yeah,
I mean it's all very incredible work. It's very varied as well. I in my first year I interned for some asteroid mining corporation because my
yeah,
friend in Cambridge was like, you should join, and we both joined.
yeah.
And we ended up getting like a little prize for meteorite, it was a little meteorite chip.
Ah,
My parents think it's plastic, but I
either
think it's a
way.
meteorite in a way, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I went on to Hyperlink, which was quite life-changing for me.
yeah,
It was really cool being like the biomed team going to these international conferences
yeah,
and then leading the team as a biomedical engineer. That was a bit crazy because this was all like mechanical and electrical engineering.
yeah.
So I had to start from like literal scratch and understand how to do that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've done a lot,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
know like that is just you're being very modest because that's like touching the surface of everything. And so, if I had to ask you, just first time we've met, who is Balvinder?
Wow, that's an existential crisis there. I guess I really like building stuff.
Yeah,
I realized that during my A levels when I was initially applying for medicine, and I realized that I didn't exactly want to work in a hospital setting where all I just did was use tools. I
yeah,
wanted to be the one making the tools. I wanted to be the one who actually like built stuff. And this came very early on as well, like in high school where my dad's an engineer, so my dad and I
nice.
would make solar cookers and then I would compete in these competitions
Yeah,
and all sorts of science competitions, but in the capacity that I was capable, like able to do so, because I do come from a very small town in Malaysia.
yeah,
So there was some like maybe three, four competitions over like my 5 years in high school. So for all of those, I did all of them and I enjoyed them very, very thoroughly.
mm,
So I guess Balvinder is it's a builder. Yeah.
yeah. Balvinder the
Bob's
Builder.
builder. Balvinder the builder.
Love it. Nice. Your last episode, a few years back,
Mhm.
you said, aim for the stars, even if you don't reach them, you'll land on the moon, a meteorite, or some space junk.
Great, that's so cringe. God.
How's that going for you?
Pretty well actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Imperial, I just applied. I applied to a few places. I managed to get a few offers, but Imperial was the one that I wanted to. And never in my dreams would I have thought like Imperial would want to accept me or Johns Hopkins as a like for that. And even now, when I'm gonna hopefully fingers crossed, I'll be doing my PhD. I've shot for so many scholarships. I didn't get some of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't eligible for some of them,
Mm,
but I did manage to get one of like the most prestigious ones out there.
yeah.
I mean, since this is recorded, thank you to my supervisor, my PhD supervisor, for all his help. But yeah, no, honestly, I realized that you can apply to like tens and twenties of competitions. Even if you don't win, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like you will always have a learning opportunity from that, and then there will always be one where you win and you win big.
Mm,
I have this like this law in my head of like the law of conservation of L's and W's.
okay.
The more L's you have, the bigger your W is going to be. And it's worked in my favor for
Yeah.
the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think there is some truth to that, yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so what would be, let's take the L's first.
Yeah.
What are some of your more recent L's then?
Oh, my recent L's. I have L's. Wait, let me just think. I applied for like a competition no, it was not a competition, it was a fellowship. Yeah, I applied for a fellowship
Yeah.
and we did like a whole research gig thing over 8 weeks, but we didn't end up like winning anything.
Yeah.
I think we placed fourth and they only took like the top three, so
Mm,
that's an L. But it's fine because soon after that I got a scholarship, so that's a W.
nice.
And it's the same with like little itty bitty things. Like if I get a B for something, and then the next thing I get like 100 for. So just like small things.
A little conservation of L's and W's.
Yeah, it works.
What would you say is I mean, I know because I've looked at, or at least I think I know because I've looked at a lot of the stuff you've done, but what would you say is to you your biggest W then?
Oh, I don't think I can escape this, but I think it's my double win, my double global win that has so far been like my biggest highlight
Yeah.
of my life because from that, I got a lot of visibility in
Mm.
Malaysia
Yeah.
from a lot of like techie people as well. Just because that's why when you asked me how I felt about people approaching me,
Yeah.
I was like, this happens quite a bit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's incredible because it's also it's not just me myself, it's my community. Because once again, Sikh, like I'm Punjabi Sikh, and we are not very well represented in Malaysia.
Mm.
So having them like having us being recognized at this like more national level is incredible, and also just like globally as well. Because I don't think there has been any Sikh person that's won this.
Yeah.
And I remember in during my first win, I had someone who was a highly commended person. He's absolutely incredible. He came up to me and he said, "When I saw your name there, I felt such pride." I never really thought of it in that sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess like that has to be one of my biggest wins so far. Stay tuned for September for like another win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be posted. I just need some confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. And I mean, well done. Like
thank you.
that's massive.
Yeah, no, it is. And I would also like when you reach your penultimate or final year, apply for that
Yeah.
the awards, and
Yeah.
you will probably stand a really good chance of winning something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, to anybody who doesn't know, what are the things that you put forward for those competitions
Oh,
or the
so
awards?
it was the two dissertations I wrote during my undergrad. The first one was in my third year, which was designing bioresorbable drug-eluting stents with organ-on-a-chip validation. Sounds daunting, but it's basically just different stent designs. But because with stents, they're like there's this the actual metal bit, which is they call it like closed, and there's the open cell, so
Yeah.
that helps with navigation, and the closed bits
Hmm.
that helps with like the drug elution because you need something for the drug to kind of push off of on. So then I just there were three different designs that we carried, and then we 3D printed them, and then we also mechanically test them to just see how that would fare. And I did a bunch of simulations, CFD,
Mm.
NFE, and then we also had to design an organ on a chip, which is basically a microfluidic chip to mimic the environment in your artery. So yeah, it was just these two things, and then we tried to play around with like the drugs that we were using,
Yeah.
what were the dosages that we wanted to see, and those were based off like the drug-eluting kinetics of these three different scents. And then the next one was for my fourth year project, which was designing a deep learning pipeline for glioma segmentation and extracting a bunch of like meaningful clinical metrics from that. So that was basically just foundational image segmentation. And then from those images, I managed to extract a bunch of imaging biomarkers.
Mm.
And because of the length of like the word count limit that I had, I couldn't explore it further.
Yeah.
But it would have been really cool to also just look at how these imaging biomarkers could then translate into a digital twin of sorts.
Right.
Have like kind of in a way simulate the tumor dynamics and then see what therapies would suit best based on
Mm.
these imaging biomarkers,
Yeah.
which is work that I'm currently doing now for with one of the professors in BioEng.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That's cool. I like the way I look at certain things like competitions, awards is like I think it's great when people win or do well in these competitions or awards, but in my mind, when it goes from, I look at kind of the ratio of awards or competitions or hackathons won
Yeah.
to projects developed or taken on, because I feel like that's one of the biggest indicators of something that you truly believe in, that you want to work on more. But if you've been recognized for it, but then you go and carry on, you haven't
Yeah.
left it there.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Because I had to kind of like change bits and bobs of my simulations as an engineer always does.
Yeah,
I guess it's okay because initially my patients were all dying, and it didn't show the results I exactly wanted it to
not
show.
ideal. Yeah,
But now I actually have a simulation is running in my laptop now, so
nice,
we will find out what happened. Stay tuned.
nice. When so when we do workshop work, when we're in the just manufacturing bits and bobs,
Yeah.
the technicians always say something about the bioengineers or the biomedical engineers. They always say, "Oh, it's great that you guys know how to use these tools," because the bioengineers and biomedical engineers don't. And it seems like you said, you've had to do 3D printing, FEA, modeling, whatever else. Was that all taught to you? Did you teach like how did you get there?
YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah, and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I think because this was done in my third year for like the CFD and FEA, so ChatGPT was not at the level that it is now.
Uh,
So yeah, it was a lot of YouTube. I remember for one of my simulations, it was like a drug particle tracking simulation.
Yeah.
There were no YouTube videos or online tutorials that I could easily follow about drug tracking.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of take inspiration from how they did smoke
Okay.
particle tracking. I was like, okay, kind of makes sense. Now let me just go find these like variations and then implement it here. So I guess like in a way it involves a lot of creativity as well, from like understanding how it works in one domain and then
Yeah.
implementing it in a different domain.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the fun part of it.
Yeah.
I love learning things from scratch. I love building things from scratch. I always tell my professors in undergrad, give me a problem
Yeah.
and give me absolutely nothing else, and I'll come back with a solution. And that's why I'd say I'm a builder, because I just enjoy all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's nice because, well, going back to even with no hints, just
Yeah.
working on a problem and going for a solution. Is that something you think that's been, I know you said you did some projects fairly early on in your life.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something that's been trained into you, or is that just something you feel innately part of you?
Innately part of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think maybe psychologically, because again, my dad's an engineer. So I saw him building like bits and bobs
Yeah.
around the house. Um, so I think just watching him and growing up aside, like alongside him, and also my mom's a teacher.
Okay.
So she would always give me GCSE maths level books to do when I was like, what, 10?
Nice.
So so it was just like, I think it was just the way that I was raised to just learn how to do things on my own and then build things from my own. I actually don't quite enjoy being taught.
Okay.
I have to go to lectures, but I much enjoy like someone giving me the slides and I just go through them myself and I understand it
Mm,
in my own special way.
yeah.
Same thing with being provided like a problem and then I go through it my own special way, because I think that's the one and only way you can holistically understand a problem,
Yeah.
like in and out of it.
Hmm. If you had the option, would you not go to any lectures?
No, see, I go to lectures to hold myself accountable
Okay.
because I'm also quite a big procrastinator.
Right.
So yeah, I don't want to just like get too lost in it, because I very unfortunately enjoy projects more than studying.
Yeah.
So I might just get carried away with the project and then come like end of term, I realize, oh damn, I have 12 weeks of content to catch up on. So I like to hold myself accountable by going to lectures and
Okay.
getting stressed out that okay, I don't know this. I need to know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you procrastinate, which I guess for a lot of people that's typical,
Yeah.
right? But it's pretty awesome because you've still managed to get so much done whilst procrastinating.
Yeah.
Is there maybe, like you said, is it easier for project work that you know that maybe there's procrastination, but maybe that procrastination is part of the process of getting there, or yeah,
Ooh.
that process.
I think I don't procrastinate for project work.
Okay.
Actually, I have to control myself with project work, because even now with my MSc project, if
Yeah.
I could just start it and do everything I can right now, do all my experiments, to play around with all these different networks and see what works best, I would. But I can't, because I have a test next week. So I have to kind of like stop myself there. What I procrastinate with is the actual like content bit,
Yeah.
is the whole of like studying the exams and stuff.
Okay.
If like the modules, even in undergrad, if they kind of just like gave me a project and say, okay, build a prosthetic arm,
Yeah.
I would be at it right now. I would enjoy that so much.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of procrastination, it's that.
Okay.
Because I guess the less creativity involved, the more I procrastinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that. Do you reckon this is a bit of a wild question, but would you ever have considered not continuing with uni? Maybe now or even beforehand, if what you like to do is build and you're happy to take the resources you have available and go learn, and which I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with if it was something you actually wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And so by yourself because like you said, we have YouTube, we have open courses online, we have access to people who are happy to help.
Yeah.
Did you ever even consider that as an option?
Not really. Not until recently. I've never really considered dropping out of university. I think my parents will disown me, because they value education a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever dropped out of university, because university gives you the ecosystem of it. Because how I got into entrepreneurship is through university. How am I connected with such amazing people,
Yeah.
have such an incredible network,
Yeah.
is through university. Because yes, university is for education, but I genuinely think that there are other
Mm,
aspects to it as well, because it's the one place where you can get very, very smart people who are also passionate about a similar problem, and
yeah.
you can all just build together. If
Yeah.
I didn't do university, I would need to go out and search for them, which is extra work,
Mm,
not really work I enjoy. So I'll just the easier route is just to find someone from university. And
yeah.
in my undergrad especially, a lot of the funding for our projects came from university. So if we were
Okay.
affiliated with them, it would be much more easier.
Yeah.
And that was the case with like Sabathlon, because a lot of people did ask me, why didn't I just have a startup of sorts?
Uh,
That's great, but I was one person and I needed a team of builders, of people who knew this, like had a lot more domain knowledge of what we were going to build.
yeah.
And again, if I had did a startup, I did not have that network if I would not if I was not in university. I could have gone and searched for it, but I had the students right there.
Mm,
I had people who were interested. I did steal some people from Hyperlink, but yeah. So and now they're building like this tactile display for people who are visually impaired
yeah.
to help them navigate through the tube. So and it's still ongoing, and it's honestly really incredible work.
Yeah.
And I guess that's another bit of like university. I can go on and do other stuff, but also stay connected with them and see them progress further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you describe the projects that you have been a part of or spoken to people about, like I can see like a genuine smile on your face, which is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice.
it is. I really enjoy projects. I do not know how to express this any other way. It's so fun because there's so much creativity in it. You get a problem, you look at the problem. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know where to start. And then you go online, you learn, you see what other people have done, and then you try doing that, and then you think, oh, I could do this differently. And then you try it, it fails. Then
Yeah.
you try again, then it succeeds.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's like building like a Lego house in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to you it might seem like it just like why would you not do anything else? But when you like fail or something doesn't work or you don't find a resource online or your code crashes or the
Yeah.
simulation doesn't work, like why do you keep trying?
Oh, I giving up is not in my dictionary. I've learned that quite the hard way.
Yeah.
I have never been able, I'm not sure why actually. It could be something in my childhood, but I've never been able to give up on any project. Even with Sabathlon,
Mm,
it failed in my third year. I didn't have a group of really supportive people. There were maybe like one or two of them who were. And it didn't sit right with me that there was a project out there that I had tried to start, but it failed.
mm,
So I wanted to find a different avenue. And instead, this time I approached a professor,
okay.
kind of got it linked with like the Center of Undergraduate Research.
Yeah.
And then from there, I had this like a bunch of undergrads who would be very interested. So that's how I got the people. And then now it's more of a success.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's even with my code for my fourth year project, I would wake up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock just to see if my code was running. Because I had to run it on Google Colab. And
Yeah.
turns out Google Colab has got like a 12-hour runtime,
Right.
and it stops when your laptop just sleeps. So I
Yeah.
had to find that out the hard way. So
Right.
yeah, it's just I guess I become so engrossed in the problem
Mm,
that I do not want to give it up.
yeah.
I want to see it succeed. I want to see the output. I want to see something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I guess that's going down the avenue of why do you not stop? Like, why do you not give up?
Yeah.
And then what if we explore why, like you've described yourself as a workaholic,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Why? Why do you do as much as you do?
Glad that's not changed from like third year. Um, that is a good question. I just like keeping busy because if I'm not doing something, what am I? I'm not just gonna sit down and do nothing. I have the skills. I have the tenacity that it comes to wanting to build stuff.
Mm,
So why not? It's not. I in my head, it's not hard to build anything. The other day I just built this scientific notebook for myself. It's just like a more intuitive app
yeah.
that I could just key in whatever I'd done for the week, have my literature review and everything, and have like a little AI to search what I've done and when.
Yeah.
So it helps me when I'm trying to explain stuff to my professor.
Yeah.
Because before that, I had to do this all on like a Word document, which I hate. So it's just if you can make your life one easier, why not just build a tool? There's like even now, anybody can build a tool, even if you don't have any sort of coding experience that's livable, you can build an app for yourself.
Yeah,
And but I think I'm deviating away from the question.
that's all right.
But why do I like to keep busy?
Yeah.
I like to keep my mind active.
Yeah.
I do have crash days, but
Mm.
for the most part, I like being active. I like thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. You said it's it's nice to work on a project to make something easier for yourself, like
Yeah.
the scientific notebook you said,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever found it, or how have you found it working on things like cybathlon projects where you're not necessarily the end user that
Yeah.
you're designing for?
That makes that makes a lot of sense. I guess another thing that I'm passionate about, aside from making my life easier, is helping people.
Yeah.
Sabathon is actually inspired by my flatmate who is visually
Okay.
impaired, and I realized that whenever we used to take tube journeys, she wasn't able to see where the seats were. So I was like, this is not fair because sometimes we take very long tube journeys and she stands up for most of it if the tube
Yeah.
is really packed.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this is not fair. Like even if you're alone, you should be able to see where you can sit down.
Yeah.
So then we can try to build something from that. So a lot of the work that I've done is to kind of just help make other people's lives easier. I think the main theme here is just making lives easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Making life easier for people. It's going back to cybathlon. You were inspired by your friend.
Yeah.
Have you done any projects where you haven't had a direct inspiration? And have you found that harder?
Not exactly, because that's when the curiosity comes in. Because
Okay.
with hyperlink, for example, in my first year, I was investigating electromagnetic forces that was coming out from our motor and how it could affect people in the pod.
Mm.
That wasn't making anyone's lives easier. That was just plain old scientific curiosity, just seeing what materials would have worked as a shield,
Yeah.
running the simulations, seeing how the magnetic forces acted,
Yeah.
trying to interpolate and extrapolate from like whatever the team was doing to whatever like the scale version of it would be. So yeah, it's a balance of both. But for the most part, I'm converging now to the bit where I have the skills, I have the curiosity. I should use this for good. I should use all of this to help make other people's lives easier. And now, because of the double global win, I now
Yeah.
have the network.
Yeah.
So I should help people in terms of like getting scholarships or knowing a lot more opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's always just trying to be like that mediator to just genuinely just help people.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever find things being a distraction in that? Do you find things like do you have hobbies? And it might sound like a silly question, but sometimes when I'm like I enjoy squash, for example,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes I find other things are a distraction from the thing I want to be working on or working towards. Do you ever find that or
Yeah, you should ask my friends. I don't go to a lot of like our social activities because I want to sit home and I want to just do this project.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, you need work-life balance, you need friends. So it's always important for you to just schedule out some time, go out, play badminton, play squash,
yeah,
learn something, and also exercise.
yeah,
That's very important because, the scientific research that exercise really helps your brain
yeah,
and helps your cognitive abilities. So it's hard, but you
mm,
have to put yourself out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what about projects like Hyperlink? Because it's not directly tied to the things you're working on, for example, or the thing as a biomedical engineer, it it seems slightly different, like a
Yeah.
completely different track. And you said it was driven by scientific curiosity, right?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But did you not ever consider that, oh, this time I'm putting towards this, I could be doubling down on whatever else?
Well, because that was initially in my first year, and I was new to London, I was new to Queen
Okay.
Mary, and I was new to everything.
Yeah.
So that was like my one avenue. I knew I wanted to do research. I knew that I enjoyed research. So Hyperlink gave me that avenue. But
Yeah.
when I was in Hyperlink, I realized then I could go on to speak to these professors and ask if I could be in their labs. So
Okay.
sometimes it's kind of like baby steps. You have to do one thing and then you realize another thing.
Yeah.
And then it's also like networking.
Yeah.
When you go for these competitions, you meet a lot of incredible people. You learn from that network, and then you go on to just further better yourself. And even in Hyperlink, I only was a researcher for a year, and
Yeah.
then I became president, and think that gave me a lot of like incredible project management skills
Yeah.
and made me think more holistically about everything.
Hmm.
It's not just research, because you also have to think of like a potential like business model, how you're going to finance your research, how
Yeah.
you're going to break things down. And I think in that aspect, Hyperlink really helped me with my organization
Yeah.
skills, because I had to organize 140 people, and that now organizing something as one person, it's incredibly easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that regard, it does help. And it also just helps in general like leadership skills. And
Mhm.
I made a lot of friends in Hyperlink as well, and it's great to have friends who think in a similar way
Mm.
or have like similar experiences that you could just build off of on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about exercising your mind in a different way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool,
It's nice, yeah.
which is maybe where other things like hobbies come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm not the best person to be asking about hobbies, because I'm still really trying to implement time to go
Yeah.
swim or like learn tennis
Yeah.
or just hang out with my friends. But the guilt is always there. You're not doing it, but you have to remind yourself that it's fine that you're not doing it.
It's a nice like mission oriented sense. It like that's I feel I'm kind of getting across it. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
in a way.
Do
Yeah.
you have a do you have a something that you're working towards, like a maybe you call it a moonshot or something big that you know you want to work towards, or the direction vector in which you want to point all your efforts? What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, I think that is a very tough question. I think that there are two things that I want to be remembered for. One is really just like leading science. I would love to be remembered as like one of the pioneers of science, one of the greats. So that's one big moonshot. This might not be that big of a moonshot, the second one, but I really want to have some sort of NGO, like in my lifetime, it's of sort. I want to have some sort of education NGO or health-based NGO where I genuinely just help people
Yeah.
understand their health better or give them access to different like opportunities that people here might know of, but back home in Malaysia or like
Mm.
in other third world countries they might not know of.
Yeah.
Or just like giving them like avenues for scholarships so that they could come here, they could learn, they could exercise their skills, or just get an avenue for them to achieve their dreams. Because a lot of times I've seen people they have to choose between their dreams and actually just surviving in the world, which is I think is very unfair.
Mm.
So if I could, if sometime in my life, if I could have that privilege to kind of give back to society in that manner, then I would.
Yeah.
Because right now I am nobody to kind of give scholarships. I do not have that much money on me, so it's just like my cousin and I were just making like a little platform for Malaysian Sikh students to go and see what else is out there. It's not always just doctor, engineer, and lawyer
Yeah.
or accountant.
Yeah.
There are many other things out there, and trying to like have mentors that they could speak to and understand more about the jobs and just things to give them a better overview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's the platform called?
We've not had a name. We just
Ooh,
started.
okay. Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we just started, and my cousin went to Vietnam for holiday,
Yeah.
so it's on hold.
That's cool. What would you say is the biggest blocker? Would you say it's something physical, maybe like, maybe even geographically where we are in the world?
Yeah.
Or would you say it's more of a mindset thing? What would you say is one of the biggest blockers that you would want to try and target?
Oh, it's very varied because I think it's layered as well. One is geography,
Yeah.
because I realized in Europe and in America there is a lot of emphasis on like driving innovation, but back home in Malaysia it's not so much of that. Maybe it's changing now. Please don't quote me on that. I don't want 5 years later on someone comes and says like, "Oh, you said this." Um, I think there is some sort of like there's little changes in Malaysia now, but
Yeah.
when I was growing up, it was all about, oh, you have to study, you have to get a stable job, and then then you're set for life.
Mm.
But then that might not be the case for everyone. Everyone might not just think like I want a stable job. Some people want to actually do very, very awesome things. They might want to innovate something, or they
Yeah.
want to just make a large impact on the world, and they don't know how to.
Mm.
So I think it's just giving access to that, because now I'm here. I understand how things work here. If I could just go back and tell them, okay, so this is how you're going to try to do something, and this is the avenues for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess geographically, and it's also mindset. It's very deeply rooted in our community
Yeah.
that, it's always just stable job,
Mm.
but you only have one life. You might want to have to like make a bit of an impact. So to just give that like avenue for them as well.
Yeah.
Their parents might hate me for that, but oh well.
Did you or do you have a role model?
Um, I don't have a role model in the sense of like I follow exactly in their footsteps. So
Or maybe a source of inspiration, because if you've grown up in an environment in which it's the norm to not want to necessarily, or not even
yeah,
think to necessarily think about the things you're thinking about,
yeah.
what's changed that? Is there someone, something?
No, I think it's just again it's like all these little science competitions or like just hanging out with my parents and my dad. He just made very small things
Mm,
around the house.
yeah,
It's just that, and I guess it's the love I had for that.
yeah,
I genuinely fell in love with building, and I always wanted to just feel this feeling all the time.
mm,
And I put like a lot of people, they wanted me to just become a doctor. Even up until my second year, a lot of people were like, "Why didn't you just become a doctor? Why are you an engineer?"
yeah.
And that's when I got my first global win. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe we were wrong." And then I got my second global win. And I'm like, "Okay, we were definitely wrong." So yeah, I think I didn't have a role model in particular because there's not a lot of, but I didn't know of many people that came from where I'm from, a palm oil estate,
Mm,
and then just went on to do very innovative things.
yeah,
Maybe I think there are now because I'm seeing a lot more of them on like Instagram. I think also I didn't have a lot of social media back then, so I
mm,
wasn't too exposed with that.
yeah,
So it's just genuinely the love I had for wanting to research and build stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice
Yeah.
because whilst you might not have had a clear person as a role model or inspiration, something tells me that I have no doubt you will serve that to many other people.
Well, fingers crossed,
Fingers
because
crossed.
yeah,
Nothing's guaranteed, of course, but
I would,
it,
yeah, I would love to be because if I can inspire one more person to follow their dreams, then
yeah,
I've done a younger version of myself a lot of justice.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I really had to kind of like made sure that I didn't have these things get into my head.
mm,
Because if I did end up being a doctor, it's a very noble cause, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much as I do with engineering.
yeah,
So I'm glad in like the circumstances and however I thought about it when I was younger worked in the way that it did.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody maybe younger, maybe starting off? And it's difficult because everybody's situation is
Yeah.
unique and different, but do you have a as specific a general message can be?
I think it's to honestly just believe in yourself and believe in what you love.
Yeah,
Because if you don't believe in what you love or if you don't love what you do, you're going to suffer. And again, you only have one life. There are going to be a lot of deterrents. There are a lot of people that are going to tell you, no, you can't do this, maybe because like you're a girl, or you can't do this because it's not a stable job. To some extent, those might be true, especially not the girl bit. I think all women should be able to do whatever they want to do.
mhm,
But more so in terms of like survivability, sometimes some people come from poverty and they need to do certain things to bring their families out of poverty that those circumstances are unfortunate. But after that, I think maybe once you're a bit older and once you've kind of like helped settle everything, then you can pursue your dreams. Because I also believe that you don't have to be young to pursue your dreams. You can be 70. My grandfather got his PhD when he was 70. So,
wow,
yeah, I don't think innovation or chasing your dreams or anything or making an impact on the world in some way or another is limited to age.
yeah,
So, it's anybody, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just try.
Just try. Yeah. Just try. You don't know when it's going to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balvinder, you are inspirational.
Thank
Genuinely.
you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
It's
you.
been great.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking the questions, Chris.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I love thinking about different things, as it seems like you do too. And so it's yeah, you've opened up my mind to many other things that I hadn't really thought about. So,
Awesome. I guess in 5 minutes, who is
Yeah.
Krish?
Who's Krish?
That was a hard-hitting question.
Sorry. I I have a very similar underline in the sense that I also love to build things.
Mhm.
And I mean, the podcast itself is called Build for Better.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that kind of came out of one day I was thinking about, I was just reflecting. And sometimes when I'm struggling to work through things, I just look at myself in the mirror. I sit down on the floor,
Fair
I look
enough.
at myself in the mirror, and it's really odd at first, but then
Yeah.
I just speak to myself. And then I was kind of digging deeper and deeper into my why. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I do all these competitions, I do all these things, I work hard, whatever else. But why am I doing all of this? And I guess it's not a simple question, but what came out of that was I want to do everything I can because I have the ability to. I'm fortunate enough to have grown up in a nice environment and I have a decent enough brain to apply
Yeah.
to problems and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so I would be doing like you feel you're doing your younger self a
Justice.
justice.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't give it everything to build for a better future.
Yeah.
And everything I do, I try and orient towards helping a set of people
Yeah.
because to me it doesn't feel like there's any higher form of service.
Yes. Exactly. I agree.